Ever wonder how to turn a waterfall like this into a gouache painting? Stick around and I'll show you my entire process in just a few minutes. Now let's get started. I start off the composition with a simple sketch. I'm using red conte on a gray toned paper in my sketchbook. I always start my landscape paintings with the sky because it is the main light source and everything else will develop around it. So I'm mixing up some blue, a little bit of yellow in there, and I'm going to make a slight gradation from dark to light blue, getting lighter towards the horizon. While the sky is drying, I move down to the ground plane. In this image, it's actually the water's surface. It's quite dark, so I'm adding some purple and cool grays for this area. The reflection of the falls themselves is a little bit lighter in value, but I keep it cool. This waterfall is called Gouache Falls, and it's located in Minnewaska State Park in Ulster County, New York. This area is also called the Gunks. Next, let's block in some gray rock areas. I'm trying to simplify this scene. There's a lot of information in the rock structure and in the photo reference. So I'm trying to just keep it simple at first. Now, let's start to add some light masses where the sun is hitting the rocks. This is slightly warmer, so I'm mixing in some yellow into these light grays. I'm trying to lay the gouache down and leave it alone. I don't want to mess with it too much. This keeps the painting and the color clean. And I'm keeping the shadows cool. Now I'll paint in the lightest values of the waterfall, keeping it simple and gestural. I add a few highlights in the reflections in the water. And then I disperse some of that same color into the light areas of the rock. I start to add a second gray tone to the waterfall. I introduce some warmer rock masses on the right side of the falls. I push and pull some cools and warms in each zone, adding a little bit of variety. These subtle value changes and color temperature changes help to create the rock texture. Time to start thinking about the foliage of the plants and the trees. I start by mixing a warm base tone of orange and red. I use this warm tone as a base for all the greens. In the tree area, I start to add texture by hatching with the paint. This allows the color of the paper to still show through, and it creates a nice texture where these pine trees will be. Now let's add some green color to the painting. I add a little bit of red to the green to knock down the saturation. Amass in the general shapes of these trees. Mix a darker color for some vertical tree lines and some horizontal rock shadows. You can see how much these dark colors will lighten as they start to dry. That's the tricky part of gouache for me. The lighter values darken as they dry, and the darker colors get lighter as they dry. It's hard to control when you start out with this medium, but I'm starting to get the hang of it. I'm still very new to this medium, so I want to push myself and really learn how to use it efficiently. As I continue along, I push and pull the shadow and light masses, continuing to create texture. I go back into the tree areas with a darker green for the shadows. I hit the highlights on the rock areas one last time, and this sketch is complete. Overall, this took 45 minutes to complete. I'm happy with this sketch, and I hope you enjoyed the process. If you enjoyed this kind of video, please consider subscribing and turn on your notifications. I'll see you in the next video.